We are live. We are live. Here we go. Well, well, well. If it is, isn't if it isn't the most handsome Nathan I know. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, it worked. Yes, awesome.
I love when things plan.
Yes, yes, it did. It worked.
Oh no!
Whoa, no, you spoke too soon.
Of
Well,
course.
thank you, Michael. That's Oh, I'm getting all hot and bothered here. Um, so, how are you?
I am great right now because I get to
Wonderful.
talk to you twice in less than two
That's
months. What is this?
it's a
29?
miracle.
I don't know. Right?
Well, I know, yeah. Well, we used to talk a lot more together when you were here in New York,
I know.
and then even New Jersey at one point when we were like basically neighbors. Um, but how about you introduce yourself, what you do, where you calling us
Yeah.
from?
So I'm Riham El-Ounsi. I am currently in semi-sunny Los Angeles, in the Valley. I'm sitting in my craft art puzzle room because I was just trying to get the best lighting. Because I know from a producer standpoint, like you want to make sure that your subject is lit well.
Yeah,
uh, and as I mentioned, I'm a writer producer in mainly the unscripted world, which kind of sounds counterintuitive. Like, why would you need a writer in unscripted? But game shows fall under unscripted. So I'm a game show writer primarily and a game show producer. And I guess the way we met was starting off in the commercial world.
that's
So
right.
yeah, we've known each
Yeah.
other for a very long time now. It's
It
what coming up on like 10 years, I think.
Over 10 years.
Yeah,
Wait, 2013. Yeah.
yeah,
Over t
over 10.
o- over
Yeah,
10 years now. Yeah.
wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we worked on a Delta Ray music video together
I remember.
called Scared, and in inbounds this like happy-go-lucky, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, extremely charismatic woman. And I think one of the first tasks was like, we need to get pizzas or something. We need to get pizzas for the set. So, and then it was like the worst pizza ever. And I was like, how is this possible that we found bad pizza in New York? We were in Midtown too, so it was strange. Yeah,
Never go to Sabaros for pizza in New York City. That's the reason why.
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's how it is. And I should apologize. I'm not used to being on camera. I'm behind the camera most of it. So if I get a little tongue tied and tongue twisted, that's why. But uh, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, yeah.
So oh yeah, I'm a television writer, and I came up. I met John through a mutual friend, Ariana, who is an amazing producer and writer herself, and through word of we jumped around from project to project and then met a few other people that we continued to work with. And it was just like a good relationship. And that's why I always say, like, be kind to everybody because they might turn out to be your friend 10 years later.
Yeah, yeah, this industry's crazy because it's like I don't think it's like any other. I mean, I guess there's other places that are like this, but when I think about how in production there are times where you're just handing your credit card or $500 in cash to a complete stranger who says, "I'm a PA," or "I'm your crafty person," like it's just like based off of someone's recommendation, and that's how you get work and that's how you make things happen. But I'm like, I just gave my car to a PA to park.
Yep.
What if that person just took the car?
That's
Could do it.
all the thoughts. You're like, shh, shh, it's
Right,
okay. It's
right.
okay.
Oh
But
my
that's
God.
what I'm thinking about. And you're so right, John. Like there is this blind trust that comes in our industry where it is word of mouth most of the time.
Mhm.
And people are like, well, do you have any rock star PAs or anybody that you could recommend? And most of the time you're gung ho about sending someone over that you've worked with maybe once or twice that prove themselves.
Hmm.
But sometimes there are people that you're like, I want to recommend them, but I'm not sure because of like personalities clashing.
Hmm.
That can work with anybody, and then some people that can only work with specific types of
Yeah.
people. Uh, and that's something that I have to remind myself of. It's like you have to adapt to the environment that you're put in. Uh,
Hmm.
Not always going to be like smiles and sunshine, but it's also not going to be always hectic.
Yeah.
You know, you have to
Yeah.
find like balance. So,
Well, did you find that sort of in going off of that, you found your environment now as a writer, producer, like how was it going through production to get to that point for you? Like what were the like did it come about like when you started out as a PA, did you already know like the end goal, or did you kind of
oh yeah,
just
no,
kind of go along? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
similarly to you, I did not start off in the world of entertainment. I have a degree in history and a pre-law minor, and
Oh,
I was
right.
going to law school. And for those of you that don't know, John was finding education in the dental dental practice.
Yeah.
So,
So I got these pearly whites.
and I appreciate them as the daughter of a dentist. Uh, so I had never, I don't want to say I'd never the intention of doing this because it's always in the back of my head that I wanted to do something in entertainment.
Mhm.
But being a brown person in America who was not born here, I was raised on a very different uh, career
Mhm.
path. They were like, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, an engineer. And so when I basically said, I don't want to work at this law firm anymore, I'm going to apply for an internship at this post production house at the age of 24.
Right.
Oldest intern at the at the production at the time.
I was interning at 24. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents were flabbergasted by that decision,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to do anything without their approval. So I waited out until I got the approval to leave
Mhm.
the law firm of like, hey, are you consenting to me leaving? Are you going to be okay with this? And then I moved on from there because I just didn't want to do what I thought I was supposed to do. And actually, that's the biggest thing that I think if I could tell anybody, like, don't do stuff for other people. Do it for yourself because otherwise you're just going to be wasting your own time and you're not going to be.
Mhm.
So, luckily, my parents were very supportive after I explained everything to them. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't know that this was going to be my path, and I didn't know I was going to end up in game shows of all things, considering we did live events and music videos and commercials. So it's very much, it was like a 180. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it was that so that's great. I feel like that's so good for people to know. Like uh don't do thing would you just say don't do things for other people, do it for
Mhm.
yourself. But do you have to kind of still, oh, what the hell?
What?
You you what the hell? Okay. Hey, whoa, not the only
Okay,
magician here.
works on both. Wow. For anybody else, because then who's benefiting from it? You're not.
Right, right. But don't you have to still, there's an industry saying of like, you have to pay your
Oh,
dues, you
absolutely.
have to cut your teeth somewhere. Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that, and I think you should pay your dues. That's why I have a very hard time when I meet people who've never PA'd but are like executive producers or just really high up. Um,
Hmm.
and they've never been anything else. They've only been in a high position.
Right.
It's a little. I'm happy for them,
Yeah,
but it's a like how did you get here? Because you do, with the PAs are the backbone of the industry. I mean, they help in like all of the little things that nobody else wants to do, unfortunately, um, and they get it done, and they know that in order for them to continue, they have to do this and like muck muck the stalls, you
Right.
know.
Right.
I only say that because I remember telling a PA once, "Hey, we have to like shoot outside. Can you go pick up the dog poop around?" And I felt bad. I did it myself, but I had to do other things. So
Right.
um,
And what if they were like, no, you pick it up?
I'd be like, "Well, I would, but I have to do some other things. That's why I'm giving you this task. I'm so sorry, but I appreciate you." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember of if you could do something yourself, like do it yourself. Like don't just because.
Right. That's yes. I'm the same way. I'm like I'm only asking you because I'm literally handling something else right now. Like otherwise I would do it. And that's both I've seen that as both a pro and a con as far as a very hands-on producer where I find myself too much in the shit. You know, like I'm too much into the technical, into the logistical when I'm being asked to play more of an EP role and kind of like make sure the clients are being taken care of, the agency, maybe like checking in with the more top line kind of stuff and making sure we're like I should be doing this, but I'm also at the same time being like, why do we have no more ice in the cooler? I'm gonna go find out why. Talk to this crafty PA. Oh, like they don't have petty cash. Go to the coordinator. Be like, why didn't you give out petty cash? Oh, we're out of petty cash. How do we get more petty cash? Like then I'm in that sort of like problem solving mode, which I kind of love because I love being the solution and the guy to fix things. But at the same time, it's like there's bigger fish to fry. You know, there's people who need support over here too. Um, and they can figure like if I've hired correctly, if I've hired the right people, they will take care of it. Like I like to say, like Scorsese says, like if directing is 90% casting, then producing is 90% crewing.
Mhm.
Like if you find the right smart people, they can do it. Like you don't have to get micromanage and do it all.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I
Um,
do. Actually, one of the things that always resonates with me, one of my partner is an actor, and one of the films he was in, he had gone like a couple days into filming, and the director hadn't spoken to him, and so like a week goes by, and he was talking to the other actors of like, I don't know why the director's not talking to me or giving me notes or anything, and they're like, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Like you don't.
right. Yeah.
It kind of put it into perspective of like, because somebody's not coming to you constantly to tell you things, it means that you're probably doing something right. Like don't worry about it. It's the same as you're saying, like on a set, if you hire the right people, you don't have to wonder if they're dropping the ball in any
Hmm.
department. So
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
it's true, you like to work with the same people, and because you know how they work and you know how you work with them,
Hmm.
it's cohesive.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all in the same system of work and expectations. Yeah. And like, what would you say is something that you're doing now that you wish you knew like when you were maybe 20 years old, 24 years old, like about to start that internship, like what's something you would have said to
I would
yourself?
have told myself for sure, don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Mm,
Because
mm,
I notice, especially with social media these days, like we're seeing this image of someone and thinking like, wow, I wonder how they got here so quickly. Why isn't this happening to me? Why am I not getting here as quick? You know, but that shouldn't matter. And it's a constant reminder that I not only wish I had told myself at 20, but also I have to also remind myself now as I'm gonna age myself, but as I get closer to 40, um, and like don't compare yourself, because most of the time the things that you're seeing, they're all very planned out. It's not
yeah.
on a whim, and it's not spontaneous, and it's not random. Everything is produced. Even your close friend has planned out which pictures to select and which what caption to write, you know.
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
at that, and then feeling like, oh, I feel badly, I'm not as far as I should be by whatever 32. um it's everybody's path is different and everybody works in a different way. So yeah, apples and oranges, they're fruit, I get it, but they're both very different fruit. So
Yeah.
even though you're comparing them, they're not the same
Yeah.
at all. So just do you and don't worry
Yeah.
about anything else.
Yeah, there was a story that I read recently about a producer who at the age of in her late 20s was like already had four crazy like critically acclaimed feature films under their belt. And I was like, how is that possible? And in the article it's like, oh yes, father is a billionaire,
Yeah,
uncle is like, a powerhouse agent. And I'm like, oh, okay, got it, right.
they're getting,
Yes, that's why I'm not making it in my 20s.
yeah, they're more easily. And here's the thing: there are times where I feel a little bit like, oh man, I would make something so great if I just had this opportunity. Like if I had this unlimited supply.
Hmm.
Like, why are they making
Hmm.
this instead? But at the same time, like at least they're making something
Yeah.
and not just thinking about making it, which I am guilty of. I
Hmm.
think about making stuff than actually making them for myself,
Hmm.
unless somebody hires me to do something for them, and then
Yeah.
it's it's better.
Yeah.
But I
Well, you write no matter what though, right? Like are you like as a writer writes, right?
I mean I
Right?
try.
Right?
I try
Yeah.
to write. The thing that I write the most, believe it or not, is side note, the writer's strike was really tough. The writer's strike was really tough, but luckily I have a side job where I'm a superintendent.
Hmm.
And so a lot of the times that I'm writing to tenants. And so I'm writing these like lease renewal letters, and
Oh gosh, that kind of writing.
that's very technical bit writing.
There's the
Um,
pre-law coming into play
that's
there. Yeah.
more like
Okay.
contract.
Mm.
Legal advice out. I'm not giving legal advice out. I gotta like protect myself. Please don't come after me. Um, but that's the kind of writing I've been doing. I notice that when I'm given a prompt
Hmm.
by somebody else to do a writing task, it's easier for me to do it for them. However, if it's an idea of my own and I finally sit down, it's very hard for me to put pen to paper. Um, I don't know if it's like a self-sabotagey thing, which I think a lot of people are guilty of,
Hmm.
but I tend to struggle doing things creatively for myself. Though I did start writing a memoir, so there's that hopefully. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
it. There's a future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do you feel like there's like workshops and stuff that might be helpful for people? Are there any sort of suggestions or recommendations you would give
Yeah.
for
So
someone who's looking to do some more TV writing
yeah.
or game show writing?
Well, so for game show writing, I was never part of any like group specifically, but I know that there are writers groups where people do get together and pitch ideas and just expand on something or come up with ideas themselves in this group. There's a lot of Facebook groups as well for people specifically in the industry. And that's the big reason that I've kept my Facebook account. It's because a lot of the times that you're finding out about these workshops or jobs is through these posts and these groups.
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
So a lot of word of mouth, and again, who you know can help you secure another job in terms of them talking about how much they enjoyed working with you and not necessarily because they're your best friend. You know what I mean? Um, and so these writers groups, it depends on where or who is running it, but they could be like two people. It could be like a group of eight.
Hmm.
I I'm on Zoom. I'm in the WGA, so I get a lot of uh, emails about upcoming events, and they do a lot of Zoom workshops. So those can be hundreds of people, um,
Hmm.
and it's not always collaborative in that regard. because you are there to like listen, and it's almost like a seminar.
Yeah.
Uh, but they are inspiring. I always find myself leaving wanting to do more
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
life. And so then I don't focus on the
Like,
creative self in that moment. And I have to remind myself to do it, you know.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I start writing with your friends. I think that's the quickest way to get inspiration and immediate feedback, because first of all, your friends I still have my here.
Oh, yeah.
She fantastic chef, by the way,
Ooh.
Keisha. Yeah. Uh, and a great producer as well. Uh, write with your friends first and foremost, because they will be completely honest with you, hopefully, if you have that type of relationship, and they will tell you if something is viable or kind of a far-fetched idea, and they'll encourage you to keep going, or say maybe like, man,
Right. Right.
place for this right now. And also, you're probably more comfortable in a setting where it's people that you know, so you're more likely
I think
to
play is a big one, right? To just play. Like sometimes you feel like I remember I was in a writers group where I was like, I'm not going to offer any advice because I'm just going to sound like an idiot. Like
possibly.
I'm only going to take it. I'm only going to uh give advice and no wait no what was the it was I didn't want to sound like an idiot, so I was in a takers sort of mode. This was like very young back in the day. So I'm like, I'll take notes to help my story, but I'm not going to offer my wisdom to the other people. Therefore, I won't even come off as a fool. But then, like, you're working with such a tight boundary, like, you're not experimenting or playing, and therefore, like, I didn't have any writing partners or accountability either.
Mhm.
And so my
I mean, I
my
remember what you said to me when we made a calendar, and I just completely dropped the ball on it because you were going to write your feature and then I write my feature,
yeah, that's
and
right.
gave ourselves the deadline of till the end of the year, basically. And you did it.
I did?
I
Oh,
think you did.
right. I did do it. Yes.
Yeah, you did it. I wrote
Yeah.
something. I wrote something down. It's not complete in any means.
Oh gosh.
uh,
Do we need to start that again?
but also, Keisha just said that imposter syndrome is real, and she is 100%. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been in a group setting
Mhm.
with more seasoned people, and it just felt like, why am I here? I don't like. Am I here because I'm skilled, or am I here because I check off a couple of boxes? Um, I've
Yeah.
I've had people reach out to me and say, "Hey, uh, this writers' room is looking for a WGA member who's a person of color who's female. Can
Mm.
I like mention you?" And there's always this little thought that's like, "Did I get this because I'm good at what I do, or did I get this because they need to reflect that
Right.
they're
Yeah.
people?" And it's always a little bit negative to myself. But then I remember that regardless of why you got the job,
You
kill it
got
at this job.
the job. Yeah. It's like that's the thing. You still beat out a bunch of other people who would gladly be in your place.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even though I think no matter how wise we are or how seasoned we get, I think there will always be a little imposter
Negative
voice.
in the
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But that being said, currently I'm not working on a specific television show. I'm doing development right now. I can't talk about what the project is because I signed an NDA,
Mhm.
but um, it's I'm doing development, so I'm trying to work out the format for this docu-series, and I'm working again with a close friend of mine. So hopefully with with what's coming down the pipeline, that'll open up other doors to bring in more voices like
Yeah,
ours, to help kind of shape whatever this show is going to be.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you work with, I guess, other writers, a showrunner, like producers, a director? Like how much, like, what's that process like
Uh, it's different.
for
So
development? Yeah.
for development, it's very different because at one point in my life, I worked very closely with uh, this executive producer in the game show world, um, really closely. And it it wasn't it wasn't what I had
Yeah.
um
You pump the, I see you mentally pumping the brakes like, wait, 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 don't say
uh,
that thing that you're gonna say.
uh, so I worked with this man for about 5 years very closely,
Mhm.
and development, and it was great. I was with the same people during the summers and on other shows and stuff, and uh, then I let my guard down and realized that just because I am a loyal person doesn't necessarily mean that everybody will be like that. And so I
Mhm.
just have to remember that it's not going to be the same every single time. So just because you're on something for development doesn't mean you are going to eventually take it over
Mhm.
and work
Mhm.
with the people who brought you on, you know?
Right.
And it's fine. It's fine. It's a teachable moment, and it also uh, reminds you to maybe not break your back all the time for people that will just take advantage. So just be
Yeah.
wary of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So say that again. Be wary. Loyalty is not what shouldn't
Loyalty
be.
expected. Don't expect the loyalty. I was very naive
And
at
is
one
that
point.
because there's evil people or because it's the business?
Uh, I think it's a little bit of both.
Right.
I, honestly, I think in every industry there are people that are just going to do anything to get ahead. And I mean, maybe it's not malicious, intentionally malicious,
Hmm.
uh, because at the end of the day, they're just looking out for number one, which is fine. Maybe they have families, and you know they really need this more than the whatever 30-year-old.
Hmm.
And so I just have to remind myself that it's not I didn't it's not me, you know.
Hmm.
I will do my best to do the best work always because I'm a workhorse, and uh, a work ethic was instilled in myself and my sibling uh, at a very young age. And so we were always told, like, nothing in life that comes to you should come to you easily because then it's not really deserving.
Hmm.
Have to
Okay.
feel uh, that reward, I guess. And so when I was working hard to feel that reward, and then I realized that my cohorts were not maybe working as hard as I am, but they are also reaping the same benefits. I was like, it's interesting. I wonder why that is. So I just have to remind myself that it's not all cookie cutter. It's not going to be the same every single time, and people are
Right.
doing things for different reasons. So I'm loyal. I
Yeah.
am, but that's just
Yeah.
me. I can only control me. I have to keep telling myself I can only control me.
Exactly. You can only control you in that there is the show and there's the business side and show business. And gosh, I also feel like, it's so hard to find those boundaries when you work in this kind of industry because you're so eager to network, you're so eager to make your dreams possible, and then you have to kind of maybe put yourself into someone else's dream to Chappelle had a whole thing about it, but it's like, like, how you're either in a dream or you're helping someone else achieve their dream, basically, right? And so that's such a thing to figure out. And I feel like you can only do it by experience, right? And that's how you get to know yourself a little bit more, and then how you're going to treat other people. Like I love to say one of the first jobs I had was at this boutique production company that taught me exactly how not to run a production company. And therefore now I know how to run how I wanted to run my production company by working there. And to me, I was like, that's probably the best thing I could have done, like firsthand sort of experience seeing how a production company can crumble
Mhm.
and through just a lot of miscommunication and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to end on a positive note
Yeah.
of like, what are the opportunities and the things you're looking forward to right now? What are you working on?
So, I'm continuously writing my memoir
Mhm.
slowly,
Okay.
and I'm developing one show. I actually have two shows that we're developing for the same company. They're an East Coast company, and what I like about them is they they tell you what this is, and then they're like, you just do your own thing, and it's not really micromanagery as some other places that I've worked at where they're like, I need to check in every like 16 minutes,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
a deterrent to creativity, I feel.
Yes.
um, so if you let people just do their thing and you trust them, they're probably going to do well by you.
Yeah.
um, so I'm doing that, and then I'm always thinking of ideas. I'm always coming up with ideas and trying to figure out like who to workshop them with, basically. um and what was the other one? Oh, what am I talking about right now? I'm also trying to be more craft, like literally.
Literally
I'm
crafty.
literally
Okay.
crocheting a
Could you show us some of your work? Like, what are you literally working on right now?
oh,
Like during this Instagram live, I've been,
I started
wow.
this thing. It's this garland, and I was gonna try to make this like different uh monochromatic and also what do you call it, like gradient.
Hmm.
uh I don't know what this is, art installation. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I just started to crochet and I was like, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And then I have all this yarn back here,
Wow.
bit of a mess,
My,
but you can see my little macaron right there that I made on the books.
that's
The little
beautiful.
guy and a little strawberry. And then I'm always working on puzzles, so there's my little puzzle station.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, what is that? A platform that you stand on and do speeches? What is that?
My podium. It's actually, it's where you put the puzzle pieces, and you can move them around. So if I need to take this downstairs, I can just like move the whole thing downstairs,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
keeps it from slipping
Oh,
too.
okay. Yeah, the surfaces. Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I'm
That's cool.
trying to do a little bit of creative writing, but also creatively using my hands, because I would like to not make my whole life just uh, I don't want to be a workhorse until I die. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying
And also,
to find simple joys in like fabric
yeah,
and fibers.
and and like get away from a screen so that because we're also constantly on the screen. Exactly, exactly.
But yeah, who knows what this is going to bring. I mean, I did come up with a sitcom idea for this, and I told my friend about it, and I don't, should I just tell you? Aw, thanks
Yeah.
guys. Oh, everything's sweet in the thing. So I came up with this idea for a show about like a crochet or knitting circle, basically like a craft group, you know how they have those.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be called like hookers, because and you
Okay.
completely think something different, but it's not. And it's like this church group of like little old ladies, and they're so completely unassuming, but then they're really cutthroat about like who gets to be in this group, and
Yeah.
like what materials get to come in. It's like I have ideas all the time. I'm
Yeah.
great. Most of the time they're not great, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
better.
if anyone wants to help you with some financing or be a writing partner on the new show Hookers about a church crocheting group,
Yeah,
please contact Riham.
please
after the after the broadcast.
with that. Oh, keep this
Oh God. Oh no. This can't be
fan.
a show of puns. Don't string us along that way. Oh man.
I love, oh my gosh, John, I want to watch this. Oh, okay, and I'm hooked. You guys, I feel like I have my group of writers already. I think they're in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. They really just kind of weave their way in. Okay,
I
stop.
appreciate you asking me to join you. I honestly like it is just an honor to be nominated. So thank you for doing.
Well, I'm hoping people can really dive into these videos and, pull some nugget. I'm sure there's a couple nuggets we can pull out of here for people. My big thing is like, how do we give back with the experience that we've learned? Are there like red flags? Are there things that we can help people, pitfalls that we can help people avoid on their journey
Actually,
as
this
filmmakers? Yeah.
advice. I was talking to my partner about this last night because we had just seen the documentary Quiet on Set, which
Mhm.
is
On
the
HBO. Yeah.
yeah, I think so. And it basically tells you like the dark side of children's television, specifically in the 90s. And I remembered talking to him about a specific encounter I had on set and how people will say things to you to either get a reaction or get a rise or just to see what they can get away with. And sometimes you feel like you don't have any control over the situation. And so you feel a little bit stuck. But as long as you tell someone, always tell someone if something happens so that you have like someone who knows what's going on because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not they will use that as manipulation to get you fired or get you
Yeah.
off the set
Yeah.
and don't fall victim to that stuff because people will take advantage of kindness.
Mm, mm,
Be careful of that. And if you work hard and if you want something hard, like enough, if you want something enough, you will get there. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
yeah.
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 So just keep doing it. And that's all that matters. Do what you
I
love, not for anybody else.
yeah. I just watched that movie She Said with Carey Mulligan and I'm trying to remember the other person's
Yeah.
name.
For the Weinstein New York Times article, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe Kazan and stuff. Yeah, it was incredible and like how long all those allegations were buried against Harvey Weinstein, and it was because of this quiet on set, this unspoken silence mentality. And I also had a incident where someone in my family was scammed, and same thing. It's like evil requires you to stay silent,
Mhm.
so that other kind people and innocent people can fall into their traps. Um, and yeah, it's just it's horrible how so many people have been abused because they were complacent and being quiet. So that's, yeah, such good advice. If something was off or a little weird, tell
And
somebody, right? That's a huge thing.
uh, if you have a bad feeling, you will know. Like if something doesn't feel right,
Hmm.
your body like trust your instincts and trust your gut. I don't know how many times where I was like, I don't know if I should go to this location or I don't know if I should take this gig or something feels off, like by the person I'm talking to. And 9 times out of 10, I'm accurate in my feeling. So
Yeah,
your gut tells you, listen to
yeah,
it with pros and cons, obviously.
right.
But don't just accept anything because there are some people that unfortunately you can't buy experience, so you are feeling like you have to take anything that's given to you.
Hmm.
um
Hmm. Yeah.
Dangerous situation or just not good working conditions. Like I remember when I was starting off with Ariana. Actually, one of the films that we were working on. Ariana is a mutual friend of John and I's.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and one of the films that we had started off on, it was this indie feature, and production management did not care about safety on set and did not care about the PAs that they hired to help with uh,
Hmm.
filming. And I remember there was one instance where they asked Ariana and I to drive to get gas in like the gas tanks, and they were open containers. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I with that, you're not, it's dangerous. And when we pointed it out, they're like, well, we can get somebody else. So
Mm,
don't be else, because if somebody's leaving because it's dangerous, don't give in,
mm, mhm.
allow them to get away with this dangerous situation. It's just, it's a learning experience, and with time you'll get your bearings.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Great advice. I have to end our live, I have 20 rapid fire questions. They should be one answer or one sentence sort of answers, but let's see how we do, because some I realize some of these questions are not so short, but let's try to give it a go.
I love
All
games. Let's do this.
right. Let's get to know you. I know, right? Perfect for a game show writer. Um, Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What do you never leave home without?
My wallet.
Favorite thing to say on set?
Quiet.
Favorite crafty snack item?
Oh, pistachios.
Oh.
Yeah.
Favorite destination you've traveled to?
Australia.
What part of Australia?
Oh, it's up north. It's by the Great Barrier Reef. It's called Port Douglas. It's by Cairns. Uh,
Oh,
it's on the Gold Coast, I believe. Yeah.
got it.
Beautiful.
What's a podcast you recommend?
Oh man, that one I don't think I could answer truthfully, because I've only listened to one podcast
Okay.
ever. I think it was
Okay.
in life back in 2013 when it was really huge.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's still huge, but it's like
but
yeah, maybe I should preemptively ask like do you listen to podcasts? And
yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah.
uh, yeah. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have.
That's okay. Well then what's a book you recommend reading?
Ooh, okay. If you've only watched Handmaid's Tale but not read it, you should definitely read
Mm,
Handmaid's Tale, because it is eerily accurate to what's happening right now. But also, if you want something lighter, Into the Wild, even though it's not light, because you
mm-hmm.
know you,
Yeah, the end.
but it's a beautiful story about the Alaskan wilderness and how you don't need much to live a good life if you do it
Yeah.
correctly.
Are you a dog or a cat person?
Dog.
Are you an early riser or a night owl?
A little bit of both, which is weird because I don't get that much sleep.
When you have insomnia, it's both. Um,
Yeah.
what is something you're always grateful for?
My family and my support system.
Mm,
Honestly, if I had to do life by myself right now, I would not be half the person I am
mm,
in front. Not perfect right now. I'm going through a lot, but because of my family, my birth family, my chosen family, I have a really great support system. So they help me get through the smallest and the biggest things. So
yeah, yeah. Uh, Android or iPhone?
iPhone, but I
Okay.
wanted Android, but had
Yeah. What's your go-to drink at a bar?
uh, nowadays it's a dirty martini, extra dirty, extra olives,
Wow. All right.
a cup of olive juice. juice.
Just drink from a jar of olives. Yeah.
I'll
Give me that olive jar right there.
vodka, please.
What
Yeah.
is your greatest fear?
Uh, existentially or like physical? Because I don't like
Well,
jizz. Like I,
it's a two-parter
it's a
then.
super.
Both. I'm interested in both now.
Yeah, I cannot. I will pick up spiders. I'll pick up worms. I'll hold snakes, rodents, rats, all of it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of any. I cannot look at a cockroach, and I cannot be in the vicinity of one. I can't
Yeah.
even sometimes eat pecans because they kind of look like cockroaches, and it's like it.
What?
Yeah,
Pecans do not look like cockroaches.
so if you look at a half, it looks like the exoskeleton of like it's just look at one. I can't do it. Yeah, and then the existential one is uh, this is really it's a proud statement. I feel like Alexander Hamilton right now, but I feel like my fear in life is to be forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm.
like I just never existed. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Um, what? Okay, this this might be. Oh wait, what is your weakness? What's a weakness to
Oh,
you?
I take things most of the time that are not supposed to be personal. I take them personal, and I'm trying to tell myself, my inner roommate, to like lay off a little bit, like calm down. They're just telling you that they hurt themselves and need a band-aid. You didn't hurt them. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
sorry. I don't I should have put that like wood chip away where it's not they were just telling you they need a band-aid.
Yeah,
Like
I gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you usually get at a movie concession stand?
Popcorn and a soda water.
Soda water.
Those are and a soda water, extra butter.
Nice. And then the last question I have is what is your top three movies? This counts as the last three questions. What are three movies, your top three movies, not necessarily in order.
Of
Top three
is
movies.
all
Kind of like, yeah,
oh,
to
me.
you. Yeah. It's kind of like a
Okay.
letterbox question that they always ask people, like, what are your top four
Well,
favorite movies? But I'm just gonna ask, what are your
I
top three?
love Tim Burton.
Mhm.
So top two already are The Nightmare Before Christmas and
Nice.
Big Fish.
Oh, okay.
More recently, I'm surprised. I really loved The Holdovers and stylistically how they shot it. It felt nostalgic, even though I
Hmm.
grew up in that time period.
Right.
Um, felt there was something about it. Um, bonus, Frank and Weenie, also Tim
Thank
Burton.
you. All Tim Burton. Oh man.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I know what happens on Halloween then. It's a
Oh,
Tim Burton marathon then.
we go hard. Halloween, it's like a twofer, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I Damon, so Coraline was great, and I'm a voracious reader,
Hmm.
so I really like to read books before I watch if there's like a movie version of it.
Hmm.
Or, so, like I've never seen The Handmaid's Tale, but I've read the book.
Oh, okay. And
Uh,
then you'll watch it.
yeah, and then
Like
I'll
now
watch it.
you have permission to watch.
Yeah, I put a lot of myself for no reason. I'm like, why are you setting these rules?
I don't
No
know.
one. Yeah,
No one cares. Well, this was a great live. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm so glad to catch up with you twice in
I,
like a month
I
now, which is insane.
know
Um,
so much, John. This you have no idea how like it was really an honor for you
oh
to
my
ask
God,
me. Like
please, no.
up to
No.
you a lot, and I think everybody who's coming up should look at John as a leader because he is fantastic. Okay, I've never had a single negative thing to say about him on any of his sets ever, ever.
Checks
Be
in the checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
I'm like, let's just take
Well done.
20.
Well done. I'll Venmo you. No, but what she said is absolutely true, and I'm the most humble guy ever. So Thank you. And if you guys are watching this later and not live, please give her a follow. If you have any other questions about writing or her journey from pre-law to production into the writer's room, give her a holler. Thanks everyone for joining. Oh, does this work?
It's
Magic.
yeah,
Ah.
oh, exciting. How to end it.
Yeah, we'll always end it that way. Bye.
Bye.